John, I know you said after the trophy in the week that the league has to be the priority and has to be your bread and butter. Football stops for some people during an international break, doesn't when you're in League Two, of course. Is there a real feeling of excitement about this trip to Cheltenham and the opportunity it presents you?
It is, as you just said, it's an opportunity, isn't it, for us to pick 3 points up. We're really excited. We can't wait for it, to be honest. As I said, we'll get on the training ground this morning, and that we done started yesterday, really, to be honest. Well, I started last week after the Fleetwood game, if you like, to start putting a plan in place to play Cheltenham. Me and Jed Brannan went to watch them against Salford. They got a draw there, a good point. They picked up that on the road. I know they've just had a defeat in the trophy themselves against Plymouth away with a much changed team. So we're looking forward to the challenge and we can't wait.
You mentioned opportunity there. They haven't won a league game yet. You haven't won a league game yet either. I guess both sides will see this as an opportunity. Is it a case of trying to strike while the iron is hot, and if you're playing a team that hasn't won a game, try and take advantage of that?
That's exactly it, Sam. That's what we've got to do. We believe in what we're doing. We believe in the players, the squad that we've assembled, and we've just got to take our chances. And we know how to hurt them, and we'll put that plan in place, and we'll go there full steam ahead. We want to win this game. We want to take the 3 points.
You started that trophy game in midweek on the front foot, scored after 3 minutes, and it was a really sort of front-footed, aggressive performance to begin the game. Does that have to be a model for what you want to do in league games? Because I was surprised to read this week that you've not scored in the first half of a league game this season yet.
Yeah, well, that's what it is, but it's not for the want to try. And I think if you look and analyse the games that we have played as well, they've been tough opposition. You've got to play them all at some point in the calendar. And at the end of the day, we've created chances that we haven't took. If that's in the first half, we haven't took them. As I said, we've just got to stick at it. We'll stay together, and we'll come up with a game plan. We have got a game plan, and we'll go there. And we want to take the 3 points. It's as simple as that. We're trying our best to make sure that we get the points on the board that we need and we deserve at times.
As far as the message to the players is concerned, if they get a reward from doing something, if they see the way they started at Fleetwood in the week, how much does that help when you're saying you've got to impose yourself, you've got to try and get in front in games, if they're getting something from it?
Well, it does, because, people will look at it as it's a lesser competition, if you like, whatever it is, but it gives chance because, we haven't got a B team, so we can play bounce games. We've only got a small squad. We know the league's the priority. So this opportunity, or the opportunity that did take for the lads on Tuesday, is one that most of them took, to be fair to them, especially in the first half. Played really well, dominated the game, scored the goals that we scored, and then obviously we could see the one just before half time. So, the opportunities there that lads have took. Isaac, I spoke about Isaac, it was an unbelievable goal, especially, with Logan's defended the corner well, and then he's done the rest himself in his own half, and it was a quality finish at the end. So the opportunity was there, the opportunity was taken, and gives you food for thought, and that has done the rest of this week.
I'm sure you can understand why the emphasis before this game will be on the fact that neither team has won yet in the league. I'm sure that'll continue until both teams have won a league game. How hard is it, John? Last year, I think it was game 9 that you won. You're on game 5 at the moment. You've got 3 points from 5 games. You had 3 from 8 last season. Does that constitute an improvement? Does last year help in any way psychologically?
Well, it does, but you're always trying to improve. You're always trying to better what you've done last year. So at the end of the day, that's the aim, that's the goal. I think in previous cup games and everything else, we have bettered ourselves from last year. I think we're in a better place on and off the field than last year. So it's one where we've now got to impose ourselves, and we've played 5 league games. We've got to go and win tomorrow. It's as simple as that. We want to try and win every game, and that's what we set out to do. The lads try their best to try and do that. They try their best to try and put the chances away. They don't miss on purpose. They don't let goals in on purpose. So they try and defend. We got a good clean sheet last week at Shrewsbury. So that was a good point on the road, if you like. We've had a point midweek on the road against Fleetwood in the trophy. So you take 2 points away from home, but at some point you have to start picking 3 points up. So again, hopefully, and it will be, that'll be tomorrow.
From your experience as player and coach and manager, Does it get harder in those moments where you are perhaps not taking chances or where a mistake leads to a goal? The longer you wait for that win, do those moments become more high pressure?
Possibly, but it's how the individual, how we handle it, if you like. So I think personally, I'd be more worried if we weren't creating chances. I'd be more worried if we weren't scoring goals. But we are scoring goals, and as I said, we got a clean sheet in the league last week, so we've got to build on that. We don't want another clean sheet tomorrow. We've scored 2 goals midweek. Yet we've conceded 2. We've gone through that in terms of how we conceded them. Lads, you know, young Josh Smith, who sat through his clips yesterday, of how we can do better against a well experienced centre forward like Norwood and obviously Ched Evans as well. So he'll learn from that experience. So he knows he can do better in that situation. But even from the first action, the first moment, we can win the first header, if you like, possibly a foul, which you can even Seamus Keneally shouting it's a foul on the video when we're doing the clips. So it's everything that you've got to learn from, every experience you've got to learn from, and I think looking at it and learning from it, it'll put you in a good stead going forward.
We talked a little bit about last season. How important is it that you can get this win as soon as possible? Because at this stage of the season, 3 points can take you quite a way up the table.
Well, it can, but at the same time, it's like there's nothing getting decided tomorrow. The only thing that's getting decided is whether you're getting a point or 3 points or no points. So, it's not going to be the end of the world. But at the end of the day is like, we know we've got to win games in football. And we know that the next game is an opportunity for us to do that. And that'll be tomorrow away at Cheltenham. And as I said, the lads will have a game, we'll have a game plan. And the lads will stick to the task. We're all in there together downstairs. But we don't want it going on and on and on. So, we'll try and put that right as soon as possible.
We talked about the squad a couple of weeks ago, I think, and a few of the younger players. Josh Smith was one of the ones you mentioned, actually, and what the future potentially might hold for them. I think there's one trophy group game next month, one trophy group game the month after.
Yeah.
So there's not the sort of thick and fast game schedule that you've had with the League Cup in the previous month. Do you look at temporarily trimming that squad? I think there's 29 players with squad numbers.
Well, there's obviously, there's 3 goalkeepers involved in that as well. I think they need to get games, and we'll have to sit down and assess that properly. But the ones that need to stay in the building will stay in the building for obvious reasons. The ones that need to go up and go and play, I'll have to go and play because, well, if we're not organising bounce games, and we have to be careful with that ourselves because we can't afford really to get any injuries. So we'll look at that next week, and as I said, we'll sit down and do that properly.
I know there's been a couple that fans haven't seen out on the pitch. They'll have seen them around the place. The likes of Sean Worley, Conor O'Brien, who've not been able to kick a ball for you. I know there's been an air of precaution around all injuries for the last year or so. How far away are those guys that haven't made an appearance yet?
Well, Conor, he was the long-term one, but he's been back on the grass now for about a week. So he's done I think he's done 16k last week in his running, so that's good to see. So we just have to see how he reacts day to day. Sean is another one that we're really careful about. Obviously, Sean, the career he's had and the age he's at now, but he looks after himself tremendously well. So we just have to see, and day to day with Sean, you're probably looking for another few more weeks with Sean.
And 1 or 2 that have been out for the last couple of games, I'm thinking of people like Liam Coyle, Conor Grant. Is it just not taking any risks with guys like this? Maybe we put Farron Rawson in that camp as well. Is that something you're very keen on? Yeah,
well, you don't, because as I said, it's like you don't want anything to turn into something big and major, and all of a sudden you're losing them not just for a week or 2, you're losing them for a month or 2. So we don't want that. So, Faz had a little issue with sort of the top of his calf, which was sort of got to the bottom of it. Conor Grant and Coyley trained yesterday. So we're just a little bit, just cautious with 1 or 2. So, but it's good to see them 2 back on the grass.
And I think you cleared up on Tuesday night, but just for clarity, Devon Matthews came off, didn't he? But I think he's okay.
Devon's fine. Yeah, he's just come off a little bit of fatigue. He's played a lot of football, so we were just looking after him.
Yeah, and just for the 1 or 2 that have been involved in all of the games, Matthews is one of them, isn't he? How difficult is that? To be Saturday, Tuesday, 8 games on the spin for a month?
Well, it is. It's demanding, isn't it? I think we've played 9 games out. I know 8 games in a month and 9 games in total. But it is demanding, but it's hard work being a footballer. I've always said that. I say that to the lads all the time. Saturday, Tuesday, you've got to be robust. It was one word that when we did do our research and we did do the work on Isaac Heath, that one word that Everton popped up with Everton is that he's robust. There's one word that, there's There's when David Moyes and anyone went down in the first team, he always asked for Isaac to step up and be part of his squad and part of whatever he was doing on a training ground. So it's hard work. You've got to be robust. You've got to be able to go Saturday, Tuesday. It is demanding, but that is the demands of football, being a footballer.
And just lastly, the deadline has passed and you've done your business, but there's always a number of players who leave clubs, get released, mutual termination, whatever it might be. So there's a free agent market out there. Is that something you keep an eye on?
There is, because, you know, as I said, that you think the phone stops after that, but it just does carry on, because as you just touched on with all the free agents, and it's something that you can look at. It's something where now the ball's in your court when you are looking at that. So, you know, it's sort of, you know, you watch the space on that, and if it's right for the club, we'll do something. Yeah,
does it have to be outstanding? Does it have to be somebody that makes your team better?
Yeah, well, it has to be. It has to improve. You can't just bring, well, you can if you want to, but it's not us, someone in for the sake of it, or someone in for you know, emotional reasons or whatever it is. So you've got to get it right. We've definitely got to get our recruitment right. So, as I said, it's one where there is a number of lads out there. The phone or text messages haven't stopped, and as I said, we'll look at that.
And is there a chance, because they are free agents, to get them in and have a look at them and have them training with you, perhaps, and it be a little less hectic than it can be during the window?
Yeah, well, we've got one or two in now, so, you know, we'll look at them, and we'll look at them in our time, and we'll make a decision on them, on what way we want to go, if we want to go anyway.